The latest luxury addition to Colombo's skyline, Cinnamon Life by John Keels, covering approximately 10 acres of ground, is much more than its awe-inducing facade. The superstructures stand at stupendous heights, towering over many of their neighbors. It's comprised of the hotel, the retail mall, the 2 residential towers, the office tower, and the integrated car parking facility. The heights are not the only astonishing aspect of this project. Its foundation contains over 1,000 reinforced concrete piles, a record in Sri Lanka. Approximately 232,000 cubic meters of concrete went into the structure, with the weight of the total reinforcement coming to 32,000 tons. The safety protocols required to accomplish this feat were nothing short of thorough, as workers and supervisors alike had to undergo special training to cope with potential hazards. Weekly site inspections of every component was mandatory, covering everything from scaffolding equipment to the canteen. We spoke to architect Cecil Balmond in order to comprehend the inspiration behind and the many functions of Cinnamon Life, which, aside from being one of the largest architectural projects implemented in the region in recent times, has taken up to 21 million man-hours to date, input by 2,000 to 3,000 members of the workforce employed under this endeavor.
The inspiration I had behind the architecture was, I looked at my clients, and the ambitions of John Keels was open-ended and huge, and I thought, facing the sea, that I will have a backdrop and punch 2 big lines out to sea, like infinity, so that actually John Keels' ambitions are projected beyond the building even, for the future. And also I had in mind the old Sri Lankan idea of guard stones as well, and I thought the idea that this would be a metaphorical guard stone of kind of blessing on Colombo as well for the future. And I put the towers behind the form, hoping that the towers would grow in Colombo to come up to Keels. And that's exactly what's happened, quicker than I anticipated when you look now. So I'm very happy with the design. And also the Bearer Lake goes around the project, and the scalloping shape you see is reflecting that as well. So it's 2-3 levels of a narrative of an abstraction of Keels' ambitions to project, and then my own architectural design take on what the form should be. And it's also got a certain grace to it. It's not a strong, huge form with just towers everywhere. This shape curving brings you back to ground. You look and it comes back to the ground. From afternoon 2 o'clock, the sun will start going down into the sea, and that whole facade is in and out. The facade has 50% of a certain level, 30% is going out, 20% comes inside. So this moving in and out will catch the light and will be always changing, and particularly around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And I chose a glass that has a slight tint, but a slight warmth, not a cold glass. So it'd be a very nice place to be, like saying in the golf face courtyards when the sun's going down, you know. It was designed in anticipation of the western facades.
Cinnamon Life is designed to be accessed from the side. Guests enter the hotel through the entrance lobbies on level 1 and level 2, and are whisked away to the sky lobbies on level 24 and level 25 for a panoramic view of the Colombo skyline.
Cinnamon Life site was unique with the Bearer Lake and the protrusion of the land, and the only way to do that was to go up and also, as I said, project. So the banquet suites and all that are projecting out, which will be unbelievable views. So lots of pools are, and of course in the tropics you also need some shade for pools. You don't want it all the time in the sun. The Westerners like to be in the sun, but soon you roast. So, and as a Sri Lankan, I like to swim in the shade a bit. So there are 4 pools, well, 5 pools all on the scheme. But the main pools for the hotel is at the back of the hotel in the north light that comes in the mornings. And then if you want to keep being in the sun, you can walk through the hotel to the pool on the conference side. So you can be all day roasted in the sun, or you can take your pick. The pool on the conference center is very interesting because it's a lovely panorama of the city. It will be a stunning place with the backdrop of the hotel behind you.
Breathing fresh life into Colombo's landscape, the city within a city aims to be an iconic placement against its skyline.
I think lifestyle is everything, and in Sri Lanka I think people are more aware of good lifestyle than in the West. In the West there is either ethic of work or an ethic of holidays and enjoying life. Sri Lanka, I think we have a nice blend of both, and I think cinnamon life will raise those experiences to a maximum.
With the ever-growing concrete jungle becoming more and more indistinctive, Cinnamon Life presents a unique and inspired design that stands to change the perception of modern architecture in Sri Lanka.
When you have specific design for specific site with specific client ambitions, you get a great project. And Cinnamon Life is that project.